Ice raid tragedy. Farmworker dies after falling from greenhouse roof in California. Imagine a community torn apart by a chaotic operation that left a family devastated and a life cut short. This is the tragic story of Jaime Alanis, a 57-year-old farmworker who lost his life after falling from a greenhouse roof during a contentious ICE raid at a California cannabis facility. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this man's death an unfortunate accident, or a consequence of the volatile nature of these raids? Jaime Alanis was the first known victim to perish during one of the Trump administration's aggressive immigration enforcement operations. His niece, Yesenia Duran, confirmed the heartbreaking news to the Associated Press. Duran shared on GoFundMe that her uncle was the sole breadwinner for his family, regularly sending money back to his wife and daughter in Mexico. Over the decade he worked at the farm, Alanis provided not just financial support but also stability. The United Farm Workers initially reported Alanis' death prematurely, but a later statement from Ventura County Medical Center clarified that he was still on life support at the time. In a poignant statement on X, the UFW condemned these raids, stating, "These violent and cruel federal actions terrorize American communities, disrupt the American food supply chain, threaten lives, and separate families." It's worth noting that the UFW does not represent workers at the raided farm. The Department of Homeland Security executed criminal search warrants at two Glass House Farms facilities in Camarillo and Carpinteria. Glass House is a licensed cannabis grower, and the Camarillo location also cultivates tomatoes and cucumbers. According to family, hospital, and government sources, Garcia, likely referring to Alanis, was hiding and possibly fleeing agents when he climbed onto the greenhouse roof and fell approximately 30 feet, fracturing his neck. In the aftermath of the raid, DHS reported that around 200 individuals suspected of being in the country illegally were arrested, and at least 10 immigrant children were identified on the premises. Alanis was not among those apprehended. DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs Tricia McLaughlin emphasized that Alanis was not in CBP or ICE custody at the time of the fall and that he had climbed to the roof on his own accord. However, she acknowledged that CBP promptly dispatched medical assistance. The raid also resulted in the arrest of 4 U.S. citizens accused of assaulting or resisting officers, and authorities offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to the apprehension of someone suspected of firing a weapon at federal agents. Crowds gathered outside the Camarillo facility seeking updates on their relatives and protesting the immigration enforcement. Tensions escalated as armed, helmeted agents confronted demonstrators, leading to a tense standoff that ended with thick, acrid smoke filling the air. Glass House Farms maintained that immigration agents had valid warrants and that they were cooperating fully with the investigation. The company expressed its commitment to providing legal representation to detained workers. They also affirmed that they have always adhered to proper hiring practices and do not employ minors. It's intriguing to note that Glass House Farms was co-founded by Graham Farrar and Carl Kazan. Campaign finance records show that Farrar has supported California Democrats, including Governor Gavin Newsom, a prominent critic of former President Donald Trump. Kazan, on the other hand, has contributed to both Democratic and Republican candidates. This background adds another layer of complexity to the situation. This incident raises significant questions about the balance between enforcing immigration laws and protecting human life and community well-being. How can we ensure that such operations are conducted safely and responsibly? And what measures can be taken to minimize the trauma experienced by families and communities affected by these raids? We encourage readers to share their thoughts on these issues. What do you believe should be done to prevent tragedies like this in the future? Is there a better way to approach immigration enforcement that prioritizes both law enforcement and human dignity?